Hey everybody, welcome back live at Drew's house, another edition. Hope you're all feeling refreshed after the hour sleep. I'm not, but we don't have to go here nor there. It always happens to me. Tough time of year when it gets darker earlier. Maybe you're leaving work and the sun is no longer up. I don't know, whatever the case. But moving along, my guest today, longtime friend of the show, and it gets weird to say this, but now the former head basketball coach at Newburyport for the boys, Dave Clay. Coach, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. You're wearing the shirt. There you go. Congratulations. Yep. You have taken the job at St. John's Prep, and I know for a fact, we talked a little bit off the air, this was not an easy thing for you, but well, here you are. Tell us about it. Enough about me.
Yeah. No, it was an opportunity that was available, and I am more than, I am so excited to start the season and
you're always excited.
Get underway. And it's surreal right now. I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
And, just new responsibilities, new job description. But it's been the people there are truly amazing.
People that know me, I'm from Danvers. You just wanted to be closer to me, right?
I did.
St. John's Prep in Danvers, of course. Let's keep it in Newburyport for 1 second, because you built quite a program here. I know you say there was stuff in motion before you came. You're always very modest about that stuff, but I think every year you were here, that was quite a team to be reckoned with. Talk about the pride that you leave this place with.
Oh, I still love Newburyport. Yeah. I've self-appointed myself as a director of alumni relations for Newburyport boys basketball, so I can still stay in the loop. And because that's one aspect of it I've really enjoyed is, our guys graduating and then becoming alumni, and we have an alumni game over the summer, and catching up with former teammates and some people I watched when I was a young boy, watching Newburyport basketball. So that's something I want to continue going on, because it's been great reconnecting with people. And
you're people who know you. You don't need me to tell you this. Most of our, I think, listeners already know your deal, but from here, played here. It's your Newburyport through and through.
Yep.
I would imagine. I think people understand prep is a big program. It doesn't get any bigger at high school level than that. You see this happen at colleges all the time, and high school level too, of course. But these jumps are not easy. I know. Even if you have to do it professionally for you, I know that they're never easy. Talk to me about that whole inner battle.
Yeah, it was, you build such strong relationships with your players, and to feel like you're leaving them, because it is nothing to do with them. It was more of a professional decision with my career, and I like that we always aim to play the toughest competition and play a tough schedule and compete at our highest level, and I think they understood that this is a great opportunity for me to now compete at a higher level.
Yeah,
and
even high school kids, because I wonder, have you heard that a little bit? Because I can imagine high school kids are kids. Like maybe if you're a college kid, you understand it. Hey, good luck, coach. But have you got some of that from the high school kids?
It's been, the feedback's been tremendous.
Really, that's great.
Very supportive of it. They understand that, especially my players who I've had on varsity, they know how much I love the game, and sometimes I question if it's too much for them, how I dive into it a lot, and so they respected that, and they understood that this is just an opportunity that doesn't come along often. It's probably, in my eyes, it's the best high school basketball job in the state, if not New England, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of their community.
And now at that community, you can tell me, because I think one thing that we maybe don't know so much about you here, we know all the Newburyport stuff, but usually at the prep you need to have some sort of connection, I think, to get a job there, right? They like having people that have kind of been under the prep umbrella a little bit. Is that accurate or mostly accurate? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still meeting people, and some of them are former alumni and some aren't. I'm still trying to learn about their community, and from what I've meeting the athletic director and the assistant athletic directors and the whole entire athletic staff, and not to mention the principal and the headmaster, and they've just been so kind and helpful and supportive, and it's for a school that large, I've been very impressed with the support they've been offering.
It's more like a college campus, really. It's kind of has that feel, doesn't it?
It really. The resources they have, what they do for their kids is, I've been so impressed.
Yeah. not only is it my town, I also live on the prep side of town, so you're very close to me now.
Nice.
You know, yeah. I don't. Now you're just getting scared. No. All right, Drew, you're not visiting the program here.
Oh, please.
Actually, I brought it up to my guys, because I think my guys, we've talked about this before. I think I'm 35 years old. My guys are all about the same age. I think we still have some game. I think, but I think we might get. We were talking about it. Like, should we go? Maybe I'll ask Coach, see if we can, scrimmage the guys, because a bunch of us are still in Danvers. And one of my guys said, "Drew, I think we'd probably get smoked."
I feel like this is a challenge right now.
Well, I don't know. I think we would get beat up by the prep guys. I think we would have a tough time now at 35. This was from like a starter, 20 years ago. Point guard. Yeah, but I don't know. What do you think, Coach? Would we get smoked as 35-year-old guys?
I honestly have not seen him play yet, and
you haven't even seen your guys play yet.
Yeah. No. So I know a few of the guys just by watching previous film, but I'm excited.
Going in kind of blind.
Yes, which is tough for a coach.
I was going to say, you must hate that.
Yeah, I'm a very I want to be prepared and structured, and I need routines. Yeah. And now it's just like creating all of those again new, but based off what I've done in the past, I have an idea of how it will work. But every school is different, and every those kids come from multiple communities. Yeah. So that's like a different challenge that we'll face, and we'll just find ways to make it work for everyone.
It must be kind of. I always remember this. People hear me always reference the Springsteen a lot because he's one of my favorite musicians. But in his book, I remember he wrote about having one thing you miss as you get older is like that blank slate isn't quite there. Like, you get older and the time starts running out. Like I can see you. It must be kind of refreshing starting something new like this. Just knowing. I don't know. It's a change, obviously, and change is good sometimes. But just having this is your program, start to finish now. It's a blank slate. Let's build it and see. There must be something like cool and kind of exciting about that.
There is, yeah. And with all like the respect to the previous coach John DeLay and Sean Conley before that, Dan Latarte before that, they have all added something so valuable to the program, and I just want to make this transition seamless for the upperclassmen who've been with the Coach DeLay for so long, but also start adding my own twist into it. And, seeing what we can build. Yeah.
Sean Conley, that's right. He coached there. You know what I remember? He's probably, how old is Sean now? He's got some years on me. He's mid-40s?
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe not quite.
We'll call it 39. Right?
39, sure. Well, I think he might have been a little older because he was a great player. Yeah. He came down to our, I forget what the youth league was when I was really young, and came into the Danvers High gyms, I remember, and would teach us the Hot Shots program and stuff. Oh, yeah. I remember thinking, even during the drill, I was like, how was he not feeling pressure? Look, he's a great shooter, but I don't know.
I think he played at Ohio State.
Yeah. I want to say. Well, he followed O'Brien, right?
Oh, yep.
So that tells me he has I bet he's mid-40s.
Okay.
I think he had a few years on me, but yeah, he came down and he did a great job with the drills. So you don't know him well, obviously, or
I know him through a common friend, but not if he saw me on the street, he may not notice me. So,
Gotcha. All right. Again, we're joined here by Dave Clay, the former basketball coach now at Newburyport. Just took the head job at St. John's Prep in Danvers. So exciting times. I think. What's that like? I don't know what you do. Actually, just walk me through the process. So you're going to take the prep job. You've been having these conversations. Do you go tell the athletic director, Kyle Hodgson, first? Is that your first responsibility? And how does that go over? What's the whole deal with all that stuff?
So the first, I first had to talk it over with my wife.
Yes, that is step one, isn't it?
That's my number one boss. When
Good
it comes
man.
Down, right? And, because there's going to be more of a commute, different aspects of the job that
Drew lives there.
Yeah, exactly. But it was so when we talked about it, we both thought that actually the commute would be a good thing, and she's always been so supportive of my passion towards basketball, and so she was thrilled for me, and she loved the opportunity, and it was when we talked, it was more about life outside of school and basketball, where it was just becoming so much of living in town, being from here, coaching here.
That's what she means when she says a drive might be good for life reasons.
It'd be good to have that separation from where I live and where my girl's going to grow up to where I coach.
That's true. Yeah.
You just want that.
Oh, that's smart of her. I never even thought about that.
She went to Brown. She's so much smarter than me.
What's your wife's name again?
Rebecca.
Name it. You should always name drop it if you can. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good job, Rebecca.
Yep.
How is the little one doing, by the way?
Oh, I have 2 now.
Oh, that's right, 2.
Yeah,
you had the second one when you were here last time.
Yeah, so I have Bailey, who is going to be 3 early December. And
3?
Then, and then I have Colby, and she is 1.5. And, they're just so uniquely different, but the best.
We did a Zoom show, I remember, when you had the most recent baby, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, wow, so he's going to have 2 pretty much babies during the pandemic, which is busy. That's a lot going on.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
Sleeping at all? No.
When you can.
No is the answer. I saw it in your face.
When you can.
I saw the truth in your face. There's no sleeping going on. I get it. But that's interesting. No, that's a good thought though, because before you know it, they're going to be 8 and 10 and in the school system, and I bet that does bring different pressures when you're the coach at that town's or that city's school. Yeah.
I want them to be known as Bailey, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Not as like Coach Clay's daughter, or just have that separation.
I wonder, I obviously coaches where that has worked, and I'm sure it's fine. It's just something you live with, but I bet a lot of coaches do think about that. You got to think about everything, right? There's a million things.
Yeah.
What else went into it? What was a big factor? Obviously the prep's a big thing, but you're obviously, you think about everything. You think about the drive.
Yep.
Probably some good time to maybe, I don't know. Do you know what you're going to do with the drive now? Do you listen to music? Do you do work? What, I don't know why I'm saying this over, but I talk to myself a ton. Do you?
So yeah, just like talk through issues and like almost try to be proactive in things and think about like potential situations that could unfold. And I haven't had that just because my commute is a mile.
There's some truth to that, right?
Yeah, so like I couldn't compartmentalize anything. So like I went home thinking about basketball or class, and I'm trying to sit with my daughter and play in our playroom, and I'm like out in left field thinking about like why practice didn't go as smoothly as I wanted it to, and what was up with Bob, say, who had a tough practice, and I wasn't really there for my kids as I should have been. So I think this commute will allow me time to like think about that stuff, put it to rest, and then check in as a dad when I walk in. I like that. Good thinking. I remember when somebody we moved from the WBZ studios back in the day, used to be in Brighton, and I was living in Brighton. So it was, a 2-minute commute to work, and then it started in Danvers. You come home from school, you move in with your parents. So I was doing Danvers to Brighton. Then I got a place in Brighton by myself. And people were like, oh, you must be so happy to be in Boston. Like, you're 2 minutes away from work. I was like, I am. But like, it's weird. I do miss that, like Danvers to Boston drive. Cause like I just had my routine. I'd get my coffee. I would take the 45 minutes to an hour and a half drive, depending on the traffic. And I would drive in, and it's just like, it gave me time to like think. I would either think about the day, think about work, maybe put on a little bit of music and catch up on some stuff. It was just time to like catch up and reset with my coffee. That I always remember that, driving with my coffee, and that time was like taken away from me. And I actually missed it. Like I always tell people, like, I don't mind the commute in anywhere. Like I kind of liked that morning commute. I don't know. Yeah. Just a weird thing. It's not weird. I actually read, and I forget the book I was reading, but it did, not to diverge, but it dove into like how for so long people used to walk everywhere.
Yeah.
And, you just had that time to yourself. And then, cars kind of shorten that time to yourself.
Yeah.
And now where we're at now, where you don't really have time to even sometimes think about things you said or things you've done. You're just on to the next thing. And, as you know, it doesn't always work out that well. It doesn't feel good, No. You're leaving. Yeah, so I'm happy about the commute.
Get a lot done that way. You can, I don't know. Just don't do like what I saw this one girl one time. I swear, I don't know what was driving the steering wheel, but she had like I don't know if she was like doing her hair with her left hand. She was like literally on a video call on the right hand, and I know that's illegal, so you can't do that. Don't do that. But pay attention out there. I don't know what was driving that car, but it was in traffic. But there was a lot going on.
There is nothing more important than your life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and if you're gonna risk that for,
I saw somebody shaving once.
That's a skill.
Yeah. It's just like the blade doing it. Yeah. I was like, what are you doing? Like, you have to put that somewhere, right? Like, I'm just going to, never mind. Those are just stories from the road. That's all that is.
It's a new show title right there.
It is.
Stories from the road.
Stories from the road. My commute's not too long. See, now I'm going in way early. Those were the days of getting stuck in traffic. But again, Coach Dave Clay joining us. Back to, let's talk a little bit more about Newburyport here. Obviously, we are in the Newburyport NCM Hub studios today and talking with the former coach of Newburyport boys basketball, Dave Clay. We mentioned a little bit about this, and your guys, you said were good to you. I'm assuming it's the upperclassmen that you were concerned about because you guys have been through some battles together. Is that must, I know how close you are with your players. It must be a tough moment telling those guys. There's no way around that, right?
No. And not just like the guys who I had last year, especially the seniors where you just expect, people to be there and things to happen. And I know that, it wasn't the easiest, but also like my younger guys too, I've had in camp for 4 or 5 years now and who I know so well. And like this freshman class that's coming in is so talented and I was looking forward to coaching them, I could tell you the lineup from 4th grade and up. I think I strongly believe Newburyport basketball is in a good place to be successful for the next 8 years. Yeah. And whoever, and the new coach, I know him well, and I know he'll do a great job. And
they just named him, right? I saw it on Twitter. Who was it?
Coach Mark Elmendorf.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll have to get to know him now, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. But that's so when and that actually. That's probably an important part to note, too, what you just said, that you were planning on coaching these kids, the next freshmen, for the next 4 years. I mean, this is just an opportunity that life happens, right? I mean,
I was talking with my now my assistant coach again. He's coming with me to St. John's Prep, but he was with me when we were at Triton.
Yep.
And, our office wasn't what we have now. Let's say that, right?
Yeah,
but, we were just talking about how we would sit there after a tough loss or after we were 9-11 and just missed a tournament, and we were, never in our wildest years did we think we'd be at St. John's Prep coaching in the best program in the state, and it's surreal right now, and
it's exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
What did you know you had it at? Did you have to go in for an interview, I assume, and literally sit down in an office? And do you sit in front of one person, 3? Is there a board?
There was a lot of people.
They vet you at the prep.
They do a thorough job with their hiring process, and I admired that so much because they want to make sure that they have the best people in there for their community, for their student athletes, and I think that in itself. That process showed me how much they care about their kids, and how much, they want to make sure they get the right fit for their school.
Did they mention what they liked about you?
I don't think we've even had time to talk about that because it's been such a short window to get ready and prepared. Yeah, it was right on to
because as you mentioned, it's a coveted job, so they're pulling somebody from another big school, Newburyport. It's a big move from them too. So I wonder. I'm sure you'll get that maybe first day. You'll get the we welcomed him in because they've been showered with praises.
No, they've been great in that regard too, and Yeah, it was one of the most thorough processes I've ever been through. Yeah, and going to the interview, I sweated through my first college shirt, and I thankfully brought another one. I was so nervous. Yeah, I think by the time I had my interview, I had the lowest energy I've ever had because I was just
training.
I was just so mentally fried. I was just.
I hope you don't feel that way a couple minutes after this one. This is a whole different kind of interview. Again, Dave Clay, final couple minutes with him here. Former coach Newburyport, now taking the head job at St. John's Prep. You mentioned you're a big ambassador now for Newburyport and always will be. What's it kind of one of those things you'll be playing and then just kind of checking in on the score of these guys that used to be yours?
It's I've always had a love for Newburyport and the basketball program more specific, and I've always checked their scores and looked to see what they're doing, and I want them to have just a ton of success. But all my energy and thought and effort is right at St. John's Prep right now and what we're doing because what we want to do and just trying to lay out a blueprint or what we want to happen over the course of time and then working our tails off to meet those goals.
And knowing you, I mean, maybe at some of these other schools, if it's not St. John's Prep, maybe you get a little more like leeway. But knowing you, you're going to want to probably come out of the gates firing like right away. Like I know, it's not 1 year and like it has to be a state championship every year, but you probably do want to come out and impress, right? It's a new audience, it's new fans, it's a new family, right?
Yes, absolutely. I of course, yeah. I want to show them that they made the right decision, and not just like by squeaking by. I want to like just show them, and I want our guys to just go on the court and be appropriate, take care of business, and do it thoroughly, so that everyone knows that we're the team.
Yep, there you go. I mean, talk about intense competition. You're going to be getting that at St. John's Prep. I mean, you can schedule your own, but you're already built in with some of the toughest tests in the state.
Yeah, no, it's our non-league schedule is loaded. I mean, and that's just the expectation, right?
Yeah.
Is that a school such as St. John's Prep, you want to play the best. So like we're not scheduling, and it just aligns with my philosophy in basketball, anyways. Like my schedule this year for Newburyport was going to be. Our 6 non-league games were going to be extremely difficult.
Yeah, well, they end up playing the schedule you built, right?
Yeah,
and you're playing a schedule that somebody else built.
Yeah. So like
kind of weird.
Yeah. We're in the same Christmas tournament, and just hoping we don't kind of align up. But no. I mean, it's going to be so like Newburyport. I know this year has North Andover for 2 games, Lowell for a game, and then we're in their Christmas tournament. That St. John's Prep is in as well.
Oh, okay.
That's a phenomenally run tournament at Merrimack College.
Cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned a lot of the kids have been great, which is nice to hear. Because again, high school kids sometimes probably could guess some just maturity levels. They might not understand it.
Yeah.
Like coaches bailing on us. Like I could just see that from a kid because kids don't get it sometimes. It's nice to hear that this group does largely, and I wonder how about like faculty, staff. I bet you're probably getting all sorts of support, like cool change.
Everyone's been like super supportive and just like genuinely happy.
Yeah.
For me, and then just for the opportunity.
So that's because people like you, right?
Oh. At least to my face, that's what they're telling me, and it feels great.
Well, this is exciting, man. I'm rooting for you. It'll be fun. I'm from Danvers. It'll be fun to monitor you guys over there at the prep and watch you. Maybe I'll try to get over for a game. I know people now over there, so I can know.
Yeah.
They don't always let Danvers High people over. I was a Danvers High guy. I was not a prep guy, but I live over there now. So it is quite the facility, as you mentioned. It's quite a job that you've taken, and good work to get there, man. It's those jobs. They're just, as you mentioned, they're coveted, right? I mean, there's not many of them that come around, and I think most people understand why you took this one. Is there one thing you'd want to say to the Newburyport people too as you head out the door? Because I know they meant a lot to you here over the years, going back to when you were a kid, but specifically over these head coaching years.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate everyone's support throughout my time here, and I can confidently say every player's given me everything they have, and without that, I wouldn't be in this position. Like, they're a large reason why this opportunity came my way, and if it wasn't for them, I'm just extremely grateful that I got to coach them, meet them, and the relationships we've built.
Yeah,
they're not going to end because I'm at a different school.
Yep.
And if anything, a lot of my relationships with my former players have gotten stronger since this change, and I got into like trading cards. You ever trade like sport cards?
No.
Wow.
Like,
awesome.
Like baseball cards? Or
like baseball, basketball.
I didn't know people like really still did that. I guess I did, but
it is huge. And one of my former players, Jacob Robertson,
good player. I remember.
He come in here, and me and him have like just rebuilt a different relationship around sports cards. So we were at like we went to they had a big function in Wilmington this past weekend. Then we both went and we met there. And
really?
Yeah. So it's it's just, as time goes on, like our relationship's gonna mold into something different. As he eventually graduates college, it's a job, has a family.
It is cool when those kids kind of they move on and come back to you, right? You've always liked that aspect of the job,
That's why honestly, like the wins and losses, like that should really be. I mean, it's important to me, but it's really the last thing. If I can walk away with a strong relationship with all the players I've coached, it means more than anything. Because after I'm done coaching, that's what's left. And
I think it's probably a good one to end with too, because you're about to come on that time of year. It's coming quick where I'll always remember this. You and I had this great conversation. I remember I used it in Boston because it was like when it became a big story because people were like, "It's so nice to hear a coach talk openly about that." Was the cutting of players?
Yes.
And I remember we had like I think we took 20 minutes on one of those shows talking about that one subject. Go back and look for it if you can, because Coach was great on it. And he talked about how he will never post on the wall. He always tells players to their face why they get cut. And you said you lost sleep over it.
Oh, always.
I remember.
Yeah. I don't know a coach who doesn't dread the tryout process.
Yeah.
It's such a bittersweet start to the season. You're so excited to get started and on the floor and in the gym, yet you have this giant obstacle in the way of limiting your team, cutting numbers down.
Yeah.
Because it's basketball and there's only so many kids who can play, and it's one of the few cut sports, I think, in high school athletics, generally, just speaking.
Yep.
And, to tell a kid that you worked your hardest, yet it just wasn't enough, it will never feel good. I don't know anyone who would feel good doing that. It just...
Yeah, well, I could tell. The way you phrased it was just better. I don't know. I never heard a coach do it as well as you did that way and just kind of open up to the process. So we appreciate that. We always appreciate that every time you come on and talk. You can still come on, by the way. You plan on it. Okay.
100%.
100%, yes. I know you're in Danvers now, but...
I still live like 2 minutes away.
Well, exactly, yeah. So we'll make sure we continue to book you pretty religiously during the basketball season. But that time is coming up. I know the prep is cutting the players must be even more intense at the prep. I'm sure the talent crop is huge, right?
Yeah, and that's, I think,
scaring you already.
It is, because at least when you're at a place for so long, you kind of see the kids come up and you can see their progression, and you kind of have an idea of where it's going to end up, and it might be like the last few spots are like what you're really trying to cut.
Yeah.
But here, it's a blank slate, which is, I think, a good opportunity for these kids, because I'm coming in with maybe different objective, different skills I'm looking for.
Yep.
And everyone has a fresh, clean slate. So if they got cut last year, they may have a skill I like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just
yeah, you seem calm about it. You'll be a stress case in a couple of weeks.
Oh, Yep. I will.
Coach Dave Clay, former coach at Newburyport. Congrats on all the success you had at Newburyport High School all these years. It was a great program. It was always one of our most fun programs to cover, not only because of you, your whole staff, and the kids were always great too. You did a great job with them. Congrats on all that success. And we wish you all the best at St. John's Prep in Danvers.
Thank you.
The Eagles.
Yes.
St. John's Prep Eagles. All the best as basketball season closing in. I know you're ready for it. So.
Yes, and any future basketball players out there, come check us out.
All right.
It is a great spot to play and learn.
Go check out a prep game. Coach Dave Clay, thank you, sir. I know you're a busy man. We'll let you run. Thank you to Ryan Rothberg, Sarah Blackstone, Sarah Hayden, the whole crew here at our Newburyport studios. Another day, another show in the books, live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Peace.